Hello, everyone, and welcome to a solo answer the call. Croncy said he got gastro. I don't know what gastro is, but everybody in the house is sick. I guess this is what happens when you have a kid. You just get sick a lot. It is what it is. So you guys are stuck with just me. Before we start, podcast, or I guess my stream is sponsored by Opera GX this month. And since we're solo, I figured I'd put that up there. And yeah, if you guys want to support, I'll put the link in the description on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, !Opera GX. It's basically like doing a membership or subscribing on Twitch. If you download and install it and give it a try, it's a Chromium browser that's like gaming focused. It's pretty sick. And yeah, I've been using it for a while, and that's it. You can lower how much RAM you use, how much CPU you use, so your gaming isn't as affected. And my favorite thing is the splash screen when you open up a new browser is game launch dates, which is really, really sweet. And you can integrate Discord into it and many other things. So it's a really awesome browser, and I do appreciate it. But to get started, I have not played much Star Citizen this past week or the week before. I've been playing Valheim a lot and really, really enjoying that. Really enjoying just playing games that have like really good, meaningful progression. So it kind of like sometimes reminds you what you're missing in Star Citizen. But I did play a little bit this week, and that's what I want to start with. Let's start out with not the big news from the week, which is 4.9 getting delayed. Let's talk about Xenothreat. 4.8.3 dropped on Wednesday. And yeah, I finished Xenothreat in a couple of hours with my org mates. That it was really, really easy. So curious out there on YouTube and curious out there on Twitch what you guys experienced, and are you done yet? Have you finished it? And what did you think? The first thing that I always think about here is, yes, we are not in a finished Star Citizen whatsoever, but what these events I feel like should feel like, and we've talked about them on the podcast quite a bit now, is Xenothreat is not threatening anybody. Every Xenothreat mission is out in essentially an instance away from everyone else that's playing. What was the best event that they probably did was when the what were they called? It began with an S. They ended up being was it Supply or Die? It's the one where in Stanton stations were attacked by the people that ended up being, oh my goodness, what's happening to me? Yeah, Save Stanton is the one that I'm thinking of. Not Ninetales Lockdown. What's the name? The Slicers. But what did they end up becoming? The Slicers were actually this other group. But yeah, it was at the time they were the Slicers, and they attacked like stations. Yeah, the Frontier Fighters. The stations where you actually lived. So it kind of felt like an event was actually going on, right? What Xenothreat feels like is reskinned intersect missions or reskinned missions for whoever does the oh my God, my brain is fried today. Foxwell missions, yes. Reskin Foxwell missions that just have Xenothreat at them. And they're not even really talking to you. There's no voice lines. There's no wild lines. Every monthly report we hear about this, the narrative team is doing more voice lines and wild lines. And then you don't really get much from it. So, gotta say, quite disappointed in the event as an event. But what this is like, hey, there's something new. And even though that something new is extremely low effort in terms of what it appears like to us on the outside, might have been high effort on the inside, it's something that gets you in the game. It's something that gets Jared able to say, you know, it's been a great 18 months, even though it really hasn't, you know, in terms of, if we compare Star Citizen to other games, it's not the best 18 months of gaming in history or anything like that, but it is the best 18 months that Star Citizen has had, because you're comparing it to the worst 18 months it ever had the prior. So it just felt off. Yeah, the original Xeno threat was a lot better in terms of narration and things like that. It's just a little fill the gap thing, and that's totally fine. Reminder, guys, it's just me, by the way. So, because Croncy is a little frozen down there. So anybody who wants to call in, I'll take a few calls today, and I don't want to be the one talking all day. So feel free to call in. The show was called Answer the Call for a reason. We hope to hear from a few of you guys today. I got one guy in the waiting room. Would love to see a couple more. I think that would be great. So yeah, Xeno threat didn't feel very threatening. Basically, here's what the missions we had. You could do the Idris, which was like a timed in terms of cooldown timer. So you could do it once and then you couldn't do it again for a while. I think they did this in a really interesting way. So I want to give kudos to CIG for this one. It is a global mission that everybody can get, but they were doing a number of them at any given time, and they would limit how many people got paid out points in that mission. So you would run it, and I got 13,000 points for that one. It was kind of good in terms of like you couldn't just the entire server join this thing and it took a bunch, if a million people joined, nobody got points. That didn't happen. But if a lot of people joined, it was just done quickly and certain people got points. So it was like kind of well done in that way. And then all the other missions were just simply shared missions where the points were shared across the board and it wasn't limiting any points at all. So it was just like a 300K mission was paying out 8,000 points, and boom. Again, these are just Foxwell missions with a progress bar, and that was kind of good. And it worked out, and it was something that got me in stars. It was the only time I did not play Valheim this week was finishing Xeno Threat. So to say they don't work would be unfair. The rewards are actually kind of a big deal. The armor set, nobody cares, I don't think. Let me know if you do. But once we get into the 85%, these are your meta shields. These are the best shields in the game for single-seat light fighters. And then once you get into the medium fighters, the FR-76, these are your military grade A shields. So for crafting, having these blueprints is a big deal. Here's something I would love to hear you call in about. I saw on Reddit and Spectrum and stuff, tons of people complaining that these are not account bound. So people want these blueprints to be account bound. What account bound means is the same thing as if you purchased the item on the pledge store. So that means that you have it on launch. That's not something I want to see. Is in-game progression, people starting out on launch. To me, it's the same thing as buying ships. It's not beneficial for the game at all as a playable experience. It is beneficial for people who want to pay to win or whatever, right? And in this case, kind of test to win. And I don't think that's the right thing to do. I think there should be tons of things like the armor set, which should just be cosmetics, which it's not. Those things should be the rewards that you got for completing this event at this time. Hey, I have this cool Chiron skin, or this cool Tetsudo skin, or this cool Mondo skin, or Monde skin that are unique to this event in time. I was there. We need an I was there moment for each event, because that is what draws people to going to it. Something like a blueprint is an I was there moment. The problem with it is you should not be able to bring this with you on launch of 1.0. You just shouldn't. And then the final one was all the NDBs, which this would have been exciting. This is another thing I would love to hear what you guys have to say about in the calls, is NDBs were the driving force and the motivation to go to Hangar 30 for a while. Now, NDBs aren't meta at all. They're not part of any of that. Any PvP or PvE right now. But they were, and that was the driving force to go to CZs and Hangar 30 specifically. Now you have blueprints for them, you can craft them. So this also begs the question of like, now that crafting is in the game, there's uh a lot of items that used to be the motivation factor for at least myself to go to certain places and do certain content. Now we're losing those one by one by one. Currently, we cannot craft boom tubes, and we cannot craft railguns, and we cannot craft missile launchers. Missile launchers are kind of whatever, but those are kind of desirable items in the game. That's a reason to go to the ASD locations and so on, right? QV stations. What happens when we're able to craft those things? That content's going to be less played. So CIG also needs to figure out rewards for what do they call them? Their like their consistent content, like Hathor and things like that. Railguns coming in 4.9. Really? Blueprints for railguns in 4.9? There you go. So they really have to think about reasons to go to these locations now in terms of like what's in the loot table and why, because crafting is kind of coming in a way that it should. We should be able to craft everything or items. But now are the crafting materials that we get for those items, is that what drops at these locations? Curious about all that stuff. Curious what you think about it. But that's what all this Xenothreat event made me think about, were those things. Was like, hey, events should feel like events, and they should impact the world that you're in. Xenothreat is not impacting anything. Again, it's just on the side somewhere else. And kind of boring. Rewards, somewhat good, but people are a little bit entitled, in my opinion, on some of that stuff, and that's weird. Next, we'll go straight to roadmap roundup, because that was the news from the week. Nothing surprising here, in my opinion. Croncy, let me know what you think. But the main thing that is here is exactly what we heard at the end of SCL. I'm going to take a quick sip of tea because I've been talking straight for a while here. But that is, they kind of were trying to let us down softly. That 4.9 content was going to get delayed. Now, Quarkon, who's in Twitch chat, helped me understand a little bit here. 4.9 is not delayed to when 4.10 would be. Where's the date here? It's somewhere in here of when it will be. Mid-August. So mid-August is essentially a month from now. That is 4.10, right? So maybe Quarkon is misunderstanding. We're being delayed by 4 weeks. Every month, we are delivered a patch, right? Or is it every 2 months, and then a month and then every 2 weeks in between? Yeah, so I do understand. 4.8.3 is dropping now, or drop now. 4.9 is going to drop as not really 4.9, but kind of 4.9. 4.9 is mid-June. It's July, so you mean mid-July. So 4.9 will drop mid-July, but it's essentially going to be 4.9.1 content. It'll be the Recco Battaglia missions. And then 4.10 is going to drop at the time that 4.9.1 would drop. So it's just taking content that would have been at the beginning of 4.9 and putting it in the middle of 4.9. So that's not like this huge delay or anything. It's not that big of a deal. The other thing that they talked about here that is quite interesting, and I would love to hear more from the developers about it. DJ is a developer who is working on this and has worked on transit and made transit into transport. Is in the middle here, they talk a lot about freight elevators, talking about how they want to approach freight elevators the same way they approached transit and transport. And how they approached that was a complete rework of the whole thing. And that rework is still not even close to done yet from what we can tell, and has taken over a year, or approximately about a year. So freight elevators are going to be probably in development for a little bit, for a while. It's going to be a bit of time. And that's a good thing. Get it right, right? We believe, hopefully, that transport will resolve for the long term the issues that we have with elevators, ship elevators, which we hear about in the monthly report, and and yeah, everything else like the trams and things like that should be better suited for the future. Fingers crossed. And they want to approach freight elevators in the same way. My opinion is very simple. Freight elevators suck. I hate them, and I think content should be more geared towards not content, but interacting with your inventory should be in your iMenu, where there's lots of interactions that can happen via your not the freight elevator terminal, but your inventory terminal. So if I want to, for example, put cargo on a ship and have it automatically move there, and maybe it'll have a timer on it, I just slide it from the right side to the left side, and the left side is the cargo grid of my ship. Right? Just a much easier interactable thing, and not having to deal with this like thing up, thing down, physically move everything after. I hate that personally. That's just me though. I know a lot of people seem to love it. But anyway, 4.9 delayed, but not delayed that long and not that big of a deal. What is in 4.9 is support the miners mission pack. This is the storyline missions from Recco Battaglia. Gotta say, don't care at all, because mining sucks. And here's my copium for the day. Curious what you guys think about this too. There is zero fixes or updates to mining in 4.9. Zero. We have seen zero. That feels like a really bad thing, right? Let me take my hit. Here, my copium is liquid today. Okay. My copium's liquid. Here's my copium. They are listening to the feedback. I know this to be true. And the feedback was quite extensive around the changes around quality, mining, crafting, scanning, all of it. You can't fix mining in one quick patch. You can't. And I think that my cope is that they took on that feedback and they took it to heart, and they need to do a much bigger, extensive change. And in order to do that, you have to plan it. You have to change plans for other content. And I think that's why we didn't see anything in 4.9, is that there's something bigger planned for the future. And that's my hope for it. Outside of that, we're going to see combat clothing. Has that been in the PTU yet? I haven't seen it, but it's committed on the roadmap. New hairstyles, the cargo ordnance holder, like whatever. The bullpup rifle, cool, but whatever. And ship combat UI improvements. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Juvenile and adult Valacar behaviors. This is more dynamic burrowing, tracking, repositioning. So we'll see how that plays. And then ship flyby audio. Can I address the ship flyby audio thing? Did anyone see the Reddit thread about me? I am so angry by that, and I should have posted. Member of my community thought it was funny because it was that I was like, all right, guys, let's go check out the ship flyby sounds. And I go and do the ship flyby sounds. Like I asked like a few community members to come and just like, hey, get to me. They joined my party and they start flying towards me. One of them was in an 890 jump. I didn't know this. He didn't know this. There's no sound on the 890 jump. It was completely silent. So we just like giggled and laughed. I made like, oh, this is a best 18 months joke. And a member of my community posted it on Reddit. just as a joke. I didn't post it on Reddit. I don't care. I didn't think it was that funny or anything. And Reddit turned on me and said I did this on purpose to show the only ship that didn't have sound. I knew it. I was aware this whole time. This is how I like what? No, like 5 minutes later, it was somebody flew over me with a Gladius, and it was like, wow, this is cool. Good sounds. Little quiet. Feedback was they should be a little bit louder. And it was just like, guys, get a life. Get a life. Imagine like that's the first thought you go to is like everything I do is malice because I want to see Star Citizen fail. And the way that we're going to see Star Citizen fail is laughing about the ship not having, like, come on, silly. But anyway, ship flyby sounds are quite cool. It definitely has the like coming from far away, getting closer, and then going far away effect. But they need to be louder. They weren't loud enough. And then Alpha 4.10 is just everything that is in 4.9. So again, it's a 4.9.1 technically, but they're calling it 4.10 because instancing deserves its own number, I guess. But yeah, so that's what's happening here. Is 4.9 delayed? Xenothreat not scary. We got 2 calls now, so that's good. What else? We got, a sneak peek. I figured we'd show that as well, which is kind of interesting. The sneak peek is interesting because it's a new gray ship. Kind of wonder if the new gray ship is going to come with the body packs that they did for the Shiv. For me, this is like, I hate ship sales. I hate that the sneak peek is always a ship sale. I don't care about a Gray's ship necessarily. But I do appreciate the body packs as cosmetics to sell on the store to make money for Star Citizen. I love that. So kind of curious what the ship's going to be. If you know already because you follow leaks or something, don't tell me. I don't want to know. I'm more excited to find that out myself. But if you're a guesser like I am, I think they're going to do these generalist ships now. But at the same time, is this a Gray's Buccaneer? It's not a leak. They advertised the name at DefenseCon. Oh, the name is whatever. Because Grays are kit bash chips, so it's more a question of like, what did you kit bash? Is it a the only other version that we've seen of the shipjackers that I guess now is switched over to Grays was an Aurora and a Mustang. Do we think that that's what they're going to go with, or do we think they're going to go in an entirely different direction? Curious about that. But to me, it like maybe is a Buccaneer. I don't know. So we'll have to see. It's an Idris Starlight mashup. Okay, calm down. But yeah, so that's the only other thing that I kind of was interested in this week. Monthly report. We can quickly go over that. I don't think there's too much there. Big part of the monthly report was Valacar. Lots and lots and lots of Valacar talk. The Valacar specifically is receiving a laser. We saw that there's a laser in the irradiated Valacar and things like that. So that isn't new necessarily, but EMP attacks are. And again, if we played back the video from CitizenCon a few years back, there was no beams in this fight. The fight looked epic, but obviously they've said they've done a lot of playtests on it, and it needed more work. Sounds like ship combat against the thing wasn't very fun or enjoyable, and they think that this will do that potentially. So that is stuff that's there. Outside of that, Ship art is like Liberator talk, Galaxy talk, and then a bunch of unannounced ships that are coming. A Xi'an generalist ship. That's kind of why I'm thinking that the gray ship is going to be generalist as well. Here's like a really low poly thing that's going on in the Kraken. Outside of that, core gameplay mostly talks about things that are going to be in 4.10, so that's whatever. It's a month away. But they do talk about transport being worked on the inside of our ships, so ship elevators, and Starchitect was a big thing here. And I don't have this, but it will be in Week in Review, so check that guys out if you haven't yet. That there is a Discord message from Ian, who is the guy who went up on stage to talk about Starchitect at CitizenCon, talking about the options of like all the things that can affect what will determine what buildings are where, like temperature and height and so on and so forth. There was a bunch of things that could be like, we're placing a gold mining station here or a base here. And so you can buy and maybe sell things to them. You could buy gold, sell other things. And there may be gold minables around for you to mine as well, stuff like that. Yeah. But another thing was like Starchitect and mission boards. So it'll be interesting to see what that means. We already have mission boards at Wicklow, but some other stuff. And the final thing is actually quite big, potentially. Another cope. Let me take another hit. For social and orgs. Orgs mentioned. Chat was re-implemented with more robust customizable tabs. A new location-based channel lets players near a planet chat with others in the vicinity, automatically switching channels as they move between the areas. The team also entered a discovery phase for Rework's Friends app. Okay, so them saying orgs, here's my next cope. We'll go again. The next cope is that chat will automatically create an org chat for your org. And anybody in that org will automatically be in that chat. And that means that the game recognizes that you're in an org. The game's never known that you were in an org before. The game only understands parties. So if the game understands organizations, then the next step is org tags, things like that, stuff like that. Don't say finally, because it's probably not the case. I'm probably reading into it too much. And what they probably mean here is you can make your own org channel in the chat and invite your org mates to it via the friends list. That's probably what they mean here, but a man can hope. Croncy is locked in. He's very, very excited for org chat things. Economy, classic. There's nothing there. Creature content is a little bit more Valacar, and there's going to be a new creature, but a creature family. So the only creature families we have are Valakars and Copians. So more on that probably. Mission design is, again, not too much stuff there. Narrative, not too much. Online tech, towards the end, they talk about refining and that they're still discussing all of the complex interactions that refining has. Guys, it's not that complex. You made it overly complex. And that's where we are. So that is the week that we had. Again, very curious what you guys think about some of this stuff. I got a couple callers. We're going to probably take those right now. But again, I do want to pose the discussion that I'd like to have today. What'd you think about 4.8.3? Did you do Xenothreat? Did you get the rewards? Do you want those rewards account bound, and why? How do you feel about the 4.9 delay? What do you think about some of the things that I'm coping about? And yeah, is mining getting a bigger update potentially? Those are the things that I'd love to discuss with you guys today. So we'll take a few quick calls. If the podcast ends early, the podcast ends early. I thought you could be in multiple orgs, someone asked. Wouldn't that get messy? Maybe the chat is for only the main org that you're in. And I think you're probably proving out that I'm coping. But yeah, let's bring in Mr. Darkness, our first caller, and see what he wants to talk about and what he has to say. Hello, Mr. Darkness. Can you hear me? I won't be able to hear you, actually. I just realized that. I can hear you now.
All right, nice. You can hear
Hello,
me now?
Mr. Darkness.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay, I guess you can't.
Anyone? I see that Mr. Darkness is talking, but I can't hear. You can hear him, can you? My headphones probably died.
Oh, all right, okay, yeah. Then it's just
Oh
Mike
yeah,
not
they're
hearing
dead.
me.
That's what this is, and they won't turn on even though they're charged.
Well, let's wait for Mike then.
Okay, I can hear him. I can hear you now. There we go.
Nice, nice.
Okay, so what
So
do you want to talk about?
a bunch of things actually,
Okay,
especially since how many do I have people? 2, 3, including me,
just
that
one
is.
behind you.
Oh, okay,
You got
so I can
time.
take some time.
Yeah,
All
we'll
right,
probably
nice.
double it instead of 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Yeah, great. So I don't know, but for some reason I want to talk about the account bound stuff. So maybe
Sure.
people are disappointed because of the armor and weapon skins. Maybe, possibly. That's what I would be disappointed about. But everything else, like the NDBs, FR 6676, I don't really care about, to be honest. I mean, if we lose them, we can just get them next time again. So
Yeah,
did they?
and my guess is that those blueprints will not be locked to a Xenothreat event. Those blueprints will be eventually added to Xenothreat missions in Pyro or something. Like,
I I mean, as long as all those BPs are the way they are right now, they're not so meaningful in my opinion. I mean, if they were an actual item that you need to obtain from a difficult mission or something, then they would be meaningful to me at least. But now it's I
this
don't know.
was
I mean,
intended to be difficult, but it wasn't because the NPCs stood still, did nothing, or desynced the entire time. Um, I assume these events are intended to be difficult, right? Like you're fighting an Idris. That's supposed to be a boss fight. It's not though, right? And it's not because the game is not in a good place.
exactly, yeah. And it's I mean, what's difficult about these events is not the gameplay. What's difficult about these events is a case of desync. We fly in a Perseus. We ram I think it was a Valkyrie. Was it a Valkyrie? I think it was a Valkyrie. We ram this Valkyrie, and guess what happens to the Valkyrie?
It lives, you die.
Exactly. Yeah, the Perseus just literally exploded, blew up. And then we came back and we saw it was
Paid to
just a little
lose.
bit, it just was a little bit orange. Tiny bit. Then next scene, we launch a torp. This torp flies into I think it was an Asgard or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
What happens? Torp bounces off. It bounces off the ship. Nothing happens to the ship. It just lives.
How far away were you
Um,
from it?
we
Were you
were
the
far
proper
away.
distance? Yeah, you're not.
We
You
were
have
at the
to be.
proper distance. As soon as we locked in, it just bounced off. We shot it, it bounced off, and nothing happened. We just wasted it. And I also remember on your stream, like 3 days ago, something like that, when you played
Mhm.
last time and we were doing Xenothreat. Uh, one of the ships, it seemed to be immortal or something. You were shooting the cannons at it, and it just wouldn't die after taking
It
like
did.
30 shots.
It did eventually. I switched weapons and it started taking damage. It was weird.
Yeah, because we had exactly the same issue. It it wouldn't die after 30 or something shots, and it would wake up, start moving, attack us and stuff, shut it again, and then it blew up. So all the desync is ruining the game. That's the desync is the thing that makes the game hard, not Xenothreat itself.
Yeah, the missions took longer because of the desync, not because it was a challenge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah. So obviously we tried Xenothreat. So obviously disappointing because it's not the Xenothreat of 2024, which was fun.
Yeah,
And
like it's crazy to do a Xenothreat event and not tie like box moving to it to me because that was like the teamwork aspect of Xenothreat, the original. Everything else was just another. Again, this entire mission, all I did was hold left click. Whether I was in my own ship or I was in a turret, all I did was hold left click. How is that? Like, we hold Star Citizen like all the way up here, like it's the most amazing thing ever. But all I did was hold left click. That is not interesting. That is not fun. That is not inspiring. That is not game like the way people talk about this game. That wasn't it. That wasn't Star Citizen to me.
So what Vet Raptor says in the chat, the last time they did Xenothreat, people did the mission, took the rewards, and never played it again. Not really. I've seen people coming back to it and doing the Idris mission a bunch of times, specifically because you could steal the Idris, okay? It was fun. It's really good. It was a very engaging mission because there was many NPCs, the enemies. And if they would include, this was in 2024, it was 3.23 when we didn't, or 24, when we did not have server meshing, so we couldn't have too many players on it.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can. It would be a whole lot more fun. But once again, maybe they are not doing it because of the desync, so who knows, right? I don't particularly
It was a
care
horrible
until...
experience then too. I think we're forgetting how low frame rate and desyncy the last Xenothreat was as well.
Yes, but it was fun nonetheless. Many people, lots of NPCs. It was still doable. It was still playable, and I mean, just giving us the mission, like not even like a hint of missions that we had with the bunkers, for example, missions where you had to transfer items like the cargo and whatnot. Nothing like that. It's just fly, shoot, done.
Yeah.
Super
This
boring,
was
and they were
very
hyping up.
boring.
They were hyping up this event.
Yeah, like, oh my god, what does it say? An outlaw group has emerged once again to threaten the Stanton system and its ongoing support of peaceful coexistence with non-human races. And it's just like all this bullshit that, but like nothing about the event just says that to anybody. Like, I should be able to play the event and know that that's what's going on while playing the event, and I don't. Like, maybe it's written in the mission write-ups or whatever, but I don't know. I don't read those, so maybe
I'm
that's my
telling
own
you,
fault.
it's the marketing team doing it.
I mean, the entire
100%
thing is marketing team stuff. Like, the marketing team, I think, decided that this is the cadence that we're going to release patches in, and I think it largely works. Like, I don't think this is a bad thing from them necessarily, but it's like you have to release something every couple of weeks because that keeps people engaged, and then they buy more spaceships because that worked the previous year. So that's what we're doing this year. And if we get a Xenothreat sometimes, we're going to get a Xenothreat sometimes. If we get Recco Battaglia missions for mining when mining sucks, then we're going to get that sometimes too. And it just is what it is. And then sometimes we're going to get a Hathor. We haven't had a Hathor since Hathor, though. So I'm still waiting for that drug again.
People still do Hathor. It's still fun, unless it's going to be desyncy.
I just mean another feeling like I felt with Hathor. I'm not saying that Hathor
another
is
feeling
bad. Or
I was
whatever.
hoping this other I was hoping this other feeling would be with the QV breaker.
Yeah, same.
I was very hoping for this, but in reality, even I tried to do it in the public one, the one that's available to everyone. Not a single soul came to contest it.
The one public one I did was contested. I will say that. We did deal, but it was just like an annoying little gnat. There was one guy, there was a few of us, it was annoying. And it just made the experience less enjoyable, not more enjoyable, where Hathor, it makes it more enjoyable.
Xenothreat became the villain of the week.
Yeah,
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. Don't read the chat, though. You're in a podcast with me. You want to stream?
Just like the comment.
It's different. I know.
Fair enough,
I tried to say that to the callers all the time. Anything else you want to add before we move on, I guess?
Yes. So the metrics, like what they say about the metrics, I believe this is going to affect the metrics in a terrible way. I hope so, at least. So they see, maybe they start seeing things that they're
Yeah.
doing wrong, because people just come online to do the event, to get the rewards, and to stop playing the game altogether.
But that is a
Um,
monthly active user in July. Done.
yeah,
They now have
yeah,
hit their numbers, and like these people don't they don't think like us. They're not playing. They don't care about the game the way we do, right? So they hit their monthly active numbers because everybody jumped in and played Xenothreat, got their blueprints, they're done. They got their monthly active user, and now they don't need to worry about it again until August or something. I don't know if that's exactly how it's going, but these people are not good for games. The people who look at
absolutely.
these numbers and care about these numbers are not good for video games. So when I make fun of Jared for talking about player numbers are up, this number's up, that number's up, that's why, because you are anti Star Citizen the moment those numbers matter to you. Like, obviously, as a player in an MMO, you care that the player base is strong and that the population is strong. This is not an MMO yet. This is not a game yet, all those things. So if you're looking at like what is driving players now, well, the game that players are playing now should not even remotely resemble the game that launches with 1.0. And if it does, I don't know if it's for me necessarily. We'll see. Um, but that's why I give them such a hard time for that, because it's just I feel like they're focused on the wrong things at the moment.
They're not focused on the game and player experience. They're focused on numbers that they see and analytics, things like that.
Yeah, analytics
So
that don't necessarily translate to the game is in a good place. The game is in a better place than it was when I couldn't leave Pyro's stations because the elevators didn't work. But
yeah,
now
but
once
this
I
doesn't
leave
make
them,
them a playable game. Yeah, it
yeah,
doesn't make it a playable game.
and it is
All those numbers.
playable, but it isn't like in the end, it is not as enjoyable as it could be. And a lot of the things that they're doing fight against what makes it as enjoyable as it could be. Right? Is
Not
how
as
I feel.
enjoyable as Valheim.
Not as enjoyable as Valheim, who I know you're playing actively now. I can see in Discord. But yeah, so I don't know. That's where I'm at. I'm just
A few more
this.
points.
I've never been less engaged with Star Citizen than I am right now. This is the most disengaged with the game I have ever been. Ever.
Now, a few more points. 4.9/4.10. Don't really care. It seems like dull patches to me, so I'll just wait it out. Then the hit markers. I honestly didn't really notice the hit markers all too much. Maybe it's because of desync once again. I only saw like the red one, and I couldn't tell, am I doing anything or am I not doing anything?
I guess I can.
So
I have an image for all of them that was on Reddit.
I have them as well. I just only saw the red ones. I didn't see the blue ones or the zero with the O with a cross, the crossed out O
Then you were fighting
circle.
something without shields. Those are shield markers.
Maybe, yeah. Um, and last but not least, yeah. Um, what the game really lacks is actual fun mechanics. So just I'll give a small example. Example of Rust, for example, yeah. Base
Mm-hmm.
building. I hope base building is gonna matter as much as it does in Rust, for example. Rust, you have to play the game to maintain your base. So if you don't play the game, your base will just decay. And I hope the same is going to be applied for Star Citizen. If you don't play the game, your base is gone. Simple. It will
It
get
has
raided. It
to.
will get, yeah.
It has to.
Like otherwise, how are you like gonna keep up those bases? It
It's
wouldn't
not
make
even
sense to
about.
have like a permanent one.
It's not even necessarily about like. Okay, it's not entirely about uh making sure that when you do build a base, like if you build a really big one, that it's a lot of upkeep, or if you disappear from the game, that it dies. It's more like it's less about like raiding and getting stuff. For me, it's more the way they describe base building is nobody's going to build a base in Pyro. Everyone's going to build a base in Stanton, and when they do, if they go AFK, then that base is just held by that person forever if it doesn't decay. So if you place a base near Hathor and a bunch of people do, then what? Like, if they don't keep it up, then they permanently own that location forever on that server. That's weird. So taxes is one that they did talk about, but I agree that there needs to be more than just taxes. You know, decay and maintaining it, and what is, it's not item quality. There's something that's going to happen with crafted items or just items in general where they degrade over time and eventually break. I forgot the term that they're giving to it.
Uh, I think it's like
Degradation or
the
whatever.
degradation kind
Yeah.
of, yeah. So when
So
the more you
bases
use
should
it, the
have the
more it
same.
degrades.
Bases should have the same thing.
Yeah,
Because you
yeah, it
need
is.
in a place like Stanton where you cannot raid anyone's base. That's the information that we have right now. You cannot raid a base in Stanton. If you go away for long enough, everything in that base should drop on the ground and people should be able to pick it up.
Yeah, and just loot it completely, and it
Exactly.
just
And
crumbles.
then take over that spot if that's a desired spot for you.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. What I
Okay.
wanted to talk about, I guess.
Okay.
And
I
I'll
think the call went
go.
on long enough. Plus there's another caller in, so
I will stop spoiling you on Valheim. Not that I
thank you.
did.
You drive me nuts.
Sorry.
No worries,
All
darkness.
right.
Be good, man.
Croncy,
Bye-bye.
Croncy, get better soon if you're
Yes.
watching.
Get well. Talk to you soon, Krauts.
Yep.
All right. That was Mr. Darkness. We're going to go to Fludgens next. Fludgens, can you hear us?
How's it going?
Hello.
Hey, so yeah, I did the Xenothreat event. I finished it. Surprisingly with the desync. I definitely agree with the points you were making that like the desync adds to the daily analytics that they're looking for and not like our experience.
I
Uh,
mean, a little bit, but it's more the event that is the analytic driver, not the desync necessarily. But yeah, sure. We're going to, instead of it taking 2 hours, it took me 3. Right?
yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. And I guess this is my hot take. I feel like games, and this isn't a Star Citizen thing, don't deserve limited time events when they have so little content to begin with.
Yeah.
And I find it like frustrating when there's a lot of FOMO content, and I think it alienates new players. Eventually, like if they keep this up, let's just say it takes another 10 years, there's going to be so many things people missed out on that are just not going to bother because they just like, and I'm talking about hanger attribution. So like the blueprints people are complaining about. I mean that is like buying power essentially. Like if they allow
Yes.
it to
It's
be
horrible. Anybody who
permanent.
wants that, I leave. I don't want you playing Star Citizen. I don't want you
The
giving
problem,
feedback. I don't want you around. Like, I just don't think you're good for the game long term.
yeah, no, I agree with you. But like the problem is when you add the ability to buy ships, you cultivate this like mindset of
Of
like
course.
access to easy power, no friction to gain this.
Yeah. So
Do
everybody
it once,
expects
it's
it
said
in
and done.
every situation, and it's exhausting. It's
Yeah,
exhausting to explain to people that, like, how sick would it be to just everybody start with an Aurora, and then
we'll never get that now.
when you see somebody with something cool, everybody knows what that person did to earn that thing. And then it's like there is something, it's not tangible. It's a very simple thing that happens in games like MMOs. Nobody actually does it. You don't physically see the person do it. But you walk by somebody and they have something that's difficult to get and it's really cool. And you just kind of walk by and tip your hat to them. Like, I know what you did to earn that. That's badass. Good for you. And I know that I want to earn that thing. And I know that I'm working towards getting stronger and better and progressing to be able to get that thing. And everybody kind of like is on the same playing field. And when you buy spaceships, that breaks that. When you have a blueprint, immediately you have the best shields possible. That breaks that. Like, why would you ever want that? I don't understand why anybody would want any of that in a game. And then they make the stupid argument of like, I have 50 kids and 12 dogs and charity and a wife, 4 wives and all this stuff, and I don't have time to play games. Okay, well then you're not really relevant in the conversation of like how the game should be played then. Or like any other MMO, You will get there. You will get there. You will just take longer to get there. Everybody should take, let's say it takes 50 hours to get an Idris or something, just making up a random number. 50 hours to get an Idris. Your 50 hours will take 50 days. My 50 hours will take a week and a half. But we still did the same amount of effort and the same amount of hours. That's how it should be to me. But people just don't want that, and it's sad.
I think everybody's just this is just how people play games now. They're so power and like stat oriented that they forget about the experience. Like the experience is what you should be focused on, not I'm the max statted like person in like the universe because like I
Yeah.
have like the trophy at the end.
Exactly, but I bring up the point of like the tipping the hat thing because it's not just the experience that you had, it's that everybody knows that each individual person went through the same experience to get that thing.
Yeah,
And we don't have that in this game at all.
that's what I
Everyone's
was gonna
experience
say.
is different, and it takes away from it. So when people say, "What does me buying a spaceship take away from you?" That's something that's actually in video games that you're taking away from me. And you may not understand that, and that's fine, I guess. But I wish you did because it's the one of the most joyous things that I've experienced in MMOs is like, where did you get that badass dragon in Ultima Online? Like, I never knew what a white worm, like where white worms were or anything about it until I saw one and some guy had one at Brit Bank. And I was like, what the heck is that? And then there were different colors of them. And like the really pure white ones were the coolest looking ones. That's what I want. And then I spent the next year working towards being able to tame a white worm. A year. And these space dads would fucking hate that. But that was the entire experience for me. That was everything for me. And I can only speak about my experience and what I want out of the game. That doesn't mean that that's what Star Citizen has to be. But for me, that's what it has to be, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, no, like to make things prestigious. I mean, it's like the F8C, like that was like very prestigious for me for a long time. I was like, I can't wait to get that in the universe. And then it was like now it's on the shop, and then there's that whole gold ticket thing that I missed out on, but it was just to buy it. And then they gave it a skin, so they kind of like tarnished the that like ship for me. But I guess what I was gonna say is like I think the blueprint like temporary, it'll go away after a wipe is fine. Maybe just giving people like flair or something. Like I was at this event. Like they used to give you the yearly trophies for free, but now you have to buy them or they come in a bundle. Um so I don't know. Like I think if you participate in the event, maybe giving like I don't know, a jacket or a hat or something. I
Yeah,
think that will help people like cuz the drive's going to go down if it's not permanent. Like the next wipe will
exactly. It
cause
needs
the
to be a
drive to go
permanent
down.
reward, but like a coin is enough.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't have to be power, doesn't have to be weapons, doesn't like again, the best rewards were to me the what the weapons, Ardor repeaters. Those were the best rewards I think they gave so far. But
You know what's funny is I missed out on those, and I wish I could get those. I missed
you
out on
will. They'll
4.0.
blueprint them. There's a blueprint for them. They're just not tied to a mission yet. So you will have the
Gotcha.
opportunity to get them. But those were the best rewards, like the most rewarding rewards, but that doesn't mean that they were good for the game. That doesn't mean that they're good long term, right? Long term, it's way
Yeah.
better to like just have a little "I was here" thing. So truly, the best reward was like, I don't know, the exploded container from say Stanton or Fight for Pyro or something like that, right? So those are like the "I was here." You know, you say you have that for the rest of your life, and 10 years from down the line after Star Citizen releases, you have that in your base and you're showing it off and people are like, where's that? Oh man, that was from 2022, 2023, you know, before the game came out.
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh
Yeah,
shit, that's
exactly.
cool." And then you post on a marketplace somewhere buying that item, and then somebody will sell it to you. You can get it. You just have to be able to trade at some point. But yeah, I don't know what else you want to talk about.
I guess my last point was 4.9.
Okay.
I'm okay with it being delayed. I would rather see some of the newer things like the defense escort contracts
Hmm.
being fixed.
Yeah,
For example, and this is always just going to be an
they
issue, and I think
tried.
it's like a
They tried to
yeah,
fix them.
yeah, but they still explode on me, and it's like frustrating doing that for like 30 minutes and then it fails on you.
Yeah, it always fails after too
Uh,
much time. That it's like, all right, I'm not getting that time back.
Yeah, 1 out of, like, 30 missions complete.
Yeah,
So I would like to see that. Like, my personal hangar, both my elevators are bricked, which is apparently a big common issue in 4.8.
it is, and that's
Um,
why one of the main reasons for the delay of 4.9, I think.
yeah, and then, this is kind of a you were kinda touching on this on the end. The only like, I'm totally fine with things like degrading and having to get a crafter to maybe recraft the new item or whatever.
Hmm.
I just don't want Tarkov where on the competitive level, if the gun gets to 93 it risks jamming, so competitive people will not use it, they'll just swap it out. So every, like, 1 to 2 raids, they're, like, switching out their weapon because it risks jamming in the gunfight. Granted, that's a different
That's
game, it's a tactical game.
that's fine, but that also opens up yeah, maybe that is a bit weird for it to. And you bring up a really good point though, because that's essentially the same concept that CIG is proposing for that. I don't know if 93 will be the number or whatever, but it will lose its strength with that degradation. So
Yeah.
I don't know. And we will have jamming, yes. So there's that. But for me, like degradation in other games that I had played didn't affect the item. It eventually just bricked the item. Or
Yeah,
it
yeah.
like for me, that what would happen is in Ultima Online you start at 255 health, and every time you repaired it, it would go down by one, 254, 253, and so on. And once it went down to like 150 to 100, it's like I had to repair this thing while like during a play session potentially. And it was like, all right, this is a thing I no longer want to use because it's becoming annoying. I don't know if that's the direction they want to, I don't know, but that was that was an experience I had that like wasn't horrible, but at the same time Ultima Online went in the direction that CIG is going, where you never lost anything on death. So they had to do that, and crafters became irrelevant in that game very quickly, which is why I speak from experience. By through Ultima Online, where crafters became irrelevant, and then in Eve Online, where crafters are still extremely relevant, especially in times of war, because things are exploding and things are dying and things are disappearing, and it works. So I don't understand why I get so much kickback on that. I think it's just because people are super risk adverse and hate PvP. And again, they didn't come here for a video game. They came here for community, or they came here for um, collecting. I don't know. The current Star Citizen community is embarrassing in some extents and amazing in others. So I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's, you're just gonna get mixed people. There's gonna be people that like to just RP in the social aspect, and there's people
In
that
every
wanna be
game,
competitive,
sure, but
and it's just a mixed
there's a.
bag of, like, opinions.
It's not an even mix right now. It's an
Yeah.
embarrassing mix at the moment. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was about it.
Okay.
Hopefully the rest of the year will go smoothly.
Yep, 100%. We'll see. At least that's what they want to do. Whether they achieve it or not, who knows? But all right, Fledgens, we'll let you go, and I'll bring in our final call for the day.
Thanks.
All right, man. Be good. That was a fun call. All right, Crusaya is next. Hello, Crusaya. How we doing? Crusaia going once.
Hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Test, test,
Well,
test.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm just surprised how CIG works.
You're not
Sure.
good. You sound like a robot. See if you could fix
Better
it.
now?
Yes, there you go.
I'm just surprised how CIG works to hiding the player counts and just making no content at all. Like we're getting nothing. I have no reason to play the game anymore because the content is not fun or just worthless.
Okay, you still sound like a robot, but it's fine. I can hear it well enough. You can keep playing with your mic during the call if you want and try and fix it, but we can at least converse a little bit. I don't think we could do a 10-minute call like this, but here's how I'll respond to that. Why do you, and I do this too, but this is not me saying that you're wrong and I'm right when I pose this question. I'm more playing devil's advocate because I feel the same way that you do, is why do I need to play Star Citizen right now? Why do they have to deliver content to me for me to continue to play every single day or every week or whatever at this stage of the game's development? They don't need to, and they shouldn't be doing this. Why are they doing it? They're doing it because the marketing team wants you to buy more. Everything they do is because the marketing team wants you to buy more spaceships. That is the only reason that, and then when they don't excite me and don't excite you to want to play the game, then we give them a hard time and say that like this wasn't fun or whatever. It's not supposed to be fun all the time right now, and it can't be fun all the time right now. Sometimes they have to put their head down, not deliver content, fix things, deliver big features like instancing or, I don't know, something else, name any feature that we need, and not deliver a ton of content and not make the game interesting and make it essentially boring because we've already done everything or so on and so forth. This is a self-inflicted wound by you, the way you're saying it, and by me, the way I talk as well. So we've played everything in the alpha before the game came out. Whose fault is that? Is that CIG's fault or is that our fault? Some extent, 14 years of not doing anything is CIG's fault, right? Tech, art, squadron. That part's on CIG. But it's also partly on us because should we really be complaining about not being able to play every day in Star Citizen Alpha 4.8.3? Like, fuck no. Come on. So, go ahead. I'm sorry for ranting, but I would love if they just closed the doors and made a bunch of features for a year and we were not able to play the game for a year, or only on random weekends to do a PTU, to test a feature out, to get feedback, to close the doors, to then close the doors again and work on it again. That'll never work for Star Citizen because of ship sales and money and blah, 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 blah. But it would be the best thing for the game overall. And for us to complain makes it like, yeah, it's the things that they're messaging out to us versus the experience we have. And I get it, but go ahead, Crusaia. I'm sorry.
Now we know that that's just because they want to increase the player count in 50%, which is 8,000 people. Because we now know the numbers. They won't say it. Jared won't say it, but we know they're just fighting for 8,000 people who pay for a ship and live in a week.
I still don't know if those numbers are entirely true, and you're dealing with somebody who is on a leaks Discord, and I don't.
It's most likely to be true.
It could
if
be.
You understand that they use.
Other people have contradicted those. I don't want to have this conversation on this podcast because it involves the fucking stupid leaks Discord with a person who's doing shady things to get these numbers, and then CIG doesn't think that those numbers are the same as that person is sharing. So then they're considering sharing their actual numbers, which are going to be much higher. Or then what this creates is this guy said the numbers are 7,000. CIG says the numbers are 30,000. Who's lying? And then it creates all this animosity for again a fucking game in alpha that doesn't exist. It's not a conversation I want to have. I don't think it's going to be a healthy one, but feel free to get your final thought in about it.
The point is, let's say the number is fake, whatever the number is. Why you hide the server player count when you join your friend? Because
that is a bug. That's a bug. That's a bug. That was not done on purpose, and they've already said that. The 0 out of 1 thing was not done on purpose.
Okay.
And it happened before the guy showed the numbers.
And the second
thing... you're tinfoil hatting right now, and I'm not going to...
Yeah.
We're not doing it.
The second thing is that it's an alpha, but they treat it like a live service.
Yep.
But it's an alpha, and when I don't like what you're saying, it's an alpha. When I like it, it's a live service. So
I hate that. It's an alpha, and that's all it is. It's not a live service. It's an alpha, and that's it. Because an alpha live service, or it's an alpha live service, it's a combination of the two, and everything about this proves that doesn't work well. It works when you somehow create an audience that is so insane that they will spend thousands of dollars on spaceships. That's the only way it works. No, I'm not sure this can ever be recreated again unless there is a Warhammer 40K MMO that comes out with the exact same model. Because that's the only other audience I can think that is that stupid. To stupid in not necessarily a bad way, but in a crazy way, crazy excited about their game. That's the only situation where I think that this could happen again. It doesn't work, but it worked in this situation, and this is an outlier, basically. Yeah, stupid equals dedicated, exactly.
Yeah. It's baffling. They need to really fix the game. I personally don't care about the content, but they keep putting content. I'm gonna play the content then.
Same.
In the end of the day, it's not my fault because I'm not giving them money. I haven't given money for years already, and I am, but at the end, I'm the top backer of my country.
The only
living in the country, there is another people. There's 2 people counting me.
But when you say it's not my fault, I'm not trying to say that there's one when I say whose fault is it, is I'm trying to say that we can't put all the blame on CIG here, because it's also our mentality and how we approach the game. And when we get upset over something that is very obviously not a game that you should be playing every day, and you're getting upset about it because you can't play it every day, the part of it is on us for our mentality about it. And that mentality is also created by CIG a little bit. But we also are not unintelligent beings and can recognize that. We just choose not to.
It's not playing every day. Let me give you an example. The last time I haven't played for a month, I get a bug, in the first 10 minutes, and I just leave the game.
Yeah, I get it. When I say people who want to play every day, I'm speaking more generally. The complaint is I don't get to play I don't enjoy Star Citizen often enough because of XYZ issues. To me, that's generally I would love to play this game every day, but I can't. So I hope you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's a generalization. I get it. So that's I'm just, it feels like we don't have a solution to anything, and they don't care listening what the people is complaining about, because they can make the solution, but if they don't listen what the problem is, we cannot do anything.
No, everything is on them, right? To solve, not us. But everything takes time too. I think we were very clear on our feedback with mining, and nothing in 4.9, so we'll have to see.
For example, I alpha tested. I have alpha tested several games. I have gotten paid for alpha testing games.
Mhm.
When they did what they did with the feedback, I talked with previous testers, and they told me that they didn't care about the feedback. What happened with the game release, I cannot say which game.
Okay.
The game fumbled, exploded like Concord, but years before Concord, and they blame the people, but they were told for years that you are doing it bad.
Yeah.
So it's your fault.
Exactly. In the end, if Star Citizen fails, if we want to place blame, it can only be on the management of the company and the owners and stuff. You can't place blame anywhere else. But they will try to blame us, because it's like a human condition. Everybody involved in this is human, and just as somebody who's dealt in a casino for years, everybody blames everyone but themselves for sitting at the table and being an idiot and playing a game that is built for you to lose in. But they'll blame the dealer, they'll blame the waitress, they'll blame the guy next to them, but it's never their fault. So that will happen, and it doesn't matter, because in the end, all that happened is if the game fails, I really hope it doesn't. If the game fails, it failed, and that's it. It's over. It's gone. Look at Ashes of Creation, just gone. One day it was there, the next day it was gone, and there's nothing you could do about it. And you just move on with your life and find other things that give you joy. Star Citizen is not giving me joy, so I'm playing Valheim. There you go.
We can do something. It will take just another billion. Trust.
Yeah. Just one more billion and everything will be okay. But yeah. So, all right, Chris, anything else you want to chat about?
No, not anymore. That's all.
All right. Well, stay safe, and yeah. Hopefully everything. For people who don't know, Croncy is from Venezuela and lives in Caracas, so it's not a good time.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. My building is like 80 years old, but it's a good solid
Good building.
Ground.
Nice.
I live in a mountain, so it's fine. I'm lucky.
Nice. And my wife's family is okay as well, but a lot of people aren't lucky. I play hockey with an entire team of Venezuelan guys, and everybody's family is okay, but friends are gone. Some friends are gone.
I went to the city. There are some places that are very bad, and in the coast it's worse.
Yeah, it's rough, but I know Emmy and I are gonna do some charity aid thing. We're gonna go donate some stuff. So hopefully there's some website or something like that I could share with you guys, and I will as soon as I know. But stay safe, Croncy, and do what you
I
can,
know.
man.
I will send you some stuff about it, because I know the trusted
ones. Please do then.
Yeah.
Please do. Thank you very much.
I will do it right now, but I will leave the call.
Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
All right. That was Answer the Call. Unfortunately, no Croncy this week. It is what it is. And hopefully we'll see him next week. Some people were very angry about it. That they were like, get a new co-host. It's like, I think in the end, I'm gonna backseat game Croncy. Like, maybe just needs to vitamin C, get some vitamin D, some supplements, things like that. Help that immune system out, and things will be better. But I also think that there's not a lot you could do when your kid goes to daycare. Everybody gets sick. My neighbor has a young child that goes to daycare. Same thing, sick all the time. It just is what it is. So yeah, don't be mean and don't be angry that it's just me. I think if you guys didn't watch last week's episode, I think last week was one of the best episodes of Answer the Call ever. It was one of the worst watched ones ever, for whatever reason. But the back and forth between the two of us is my favorite thing, and I'm never going to get rid of Croncy, no matter how often he is unable to make it. And I still split all of the proceeds from the show with him. So yeah, that's At least all the YouTube proceeds. It's hard to do the Twitch ones, and the sponsorship is specifically for me. But the YouTube show will always be split no matter what. And that's that. And yeah, he gets to get some rest. That's must needed. So don't be mean. Don't be weird. Yeah, that's it. It's just proof that he's a present parent. I think you're being a little weird there too. But anyway, that's where we'll leave it. Thank you for watching. No stream tomorrow. Yes, we're gonna kill Bone Mass on Tuesday, and then we're going to the mountains in Valheim. Very excited for that. And then we've already seen a little bit of the plains. Kind of scary. But with that, guys, thank you so much for watching this week. And yeah, subscribe, all that stuff. Check out Opera GX if you haven't yet. And don't forget to answer the call. I had to do it all by myself. Unbelievable.